Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. Hopping right on into today's content. Today we're going to be wrapping up 2022 and talk about my personal favorite gear of the year. It goes without saying for you longtime viewers of the channel, but yeah, man, I have a very limited exposure to all the gear that can come out in a calendar year, meaning I'm not a retailer where I have the ability or the privilege, I guess, to have every single guitar, amplifier, pedal, etc. You know, I'm just one dude just trying to make it all happen, right? So the gear items on my list are just some of the things that I had the ability to, you know, at least check out here on the channel and or react to. But yeah, just want to let you guys know that, you know, in case there's any confusion there, yeah, I haven't had the ability to check out every single piece of gear that came out this year. So let's start talking about some gear. If you want to play along at home, feel free to leave your favorite piece of gear that came out this year down below in the comment section, and we'll talk all things 2022, okay? My first honorable mention is a guitar that hasn't even technically come out yet, although it's heavily talked about and documented, especially here on this channel, and that is the Solar Type X. I know, it can't really count because it didn't come out in 2022, and I actually haven't even really, you know, had the ability to play it. That's kind of why it's an honorable mention, but it's also an honorable mention just because, I don't know, man, I just think it's cool in its own right. Like, you know, we have a Type X guitar that's finally been at least teased and unveiled here in 2022. Although it's not officially out on the market, I think it's still pretty cool that Old England and Solar guitars are, you know, catering towards, you know, the more metal players, the ML players, the Washburn stealth players. And I think these guitars are going to do very, very well. So that's why it's not on the actual list, but it is included and talked about at least in this video. My second honorable mention is the Neural DSP Rabia Masad archetype, solely because of the synth feature, the synth module inside of the plugin. It's no secret that Neural DSP's products were kind of competing with themselves as of the last couple years. However, the Rabia Masad archetype, that one is a little bit different, and especially because of that synth module. As Neural DSP is continuing to evolve these archetypes, they're starting to include very specific things, specific features into these plugins, and yeah, man, the synth module is certainly something unique for this plugin, and so for that, I think it deserves to be on this list. So now the list will actually start here for real. Starting off with number 10 is the Jim Root Harley Benton guitar. I actually forget the real name of the actual guitar itself, but it's the guitar that's heavily inspired by the Jim Root Stratocaster made by Fender. Active pickups, all blacked out, everything. It looks the part, and it's awesome, man. And for like $120, I got mine on B-Stock for $102. Regardless, man, yeah, these guitars are super rad, and it was my first real experience with Harley Benton guitars, and it did not disappoint, especially for the price. And I think a lot of you guys would really check out, or really enjoy checking out those guitars yourselves. Number 9 is an Adam Jones guitar, which rendition, I'm gonna go with the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, the Art Series, the Veil of Bees guitar that just came out. Now, like I said, I haven't had the ability to play one, but I think it's really cool that Gibson and Epiphone just realized that, you know, Adam Jones is super popular with players, and the fact that they're giving you know, the entire arsenal of guitars and resources to Adam Jones, and just, you know, giving him a signature guitar for every single lineup. I think that's kind of cool, man. My personal favorite as of right now is in fact the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, because it looks the part. It's kind of weird seeing a Gibson Les Paul Standard with Adam Jones in a silver burst, because he never really played one up until, you know, once that model was released. But the Epiphone Les Paul Custom, it looks the part. It has the teardrop finish, the teardrop silver burst finish. I think that's super rad, dude. So yeah, man, I'm a huge silver burst fan. I think it looks awesome, so I definitely want to include this guitar on the list. Sticking in silver burst land, we're gonna go with the Charvel Phil Scrasso signature guitar. Another guitar that I haven't had the ability to play and check out. So this is solely coming from, you know, looking at the spec sheet and just, you know, a visual aesthetic. I think this guitar looks absolutely amazing. Just like what I said with the Epiphone Adam Jones Les Paul Custom, I love anything silver burst. I'm on a huge super strat kick. I love Floyds all of a sudden in my life. A Fishman Modern I know will be super articulate and clear. Fishman players are like obsessed with them, so I know these guitars will sell like crazy. So yeah, man, I'm just really stoked for Phil and Charvel, so definitely a really, really cool guitar to come out in 2022. Sticking in Charvel land, up next we have the Jim Root Charvel signature guitar lineup. Now, I just got my own personal copy about a couple days ago. It was one of my most recent, I think it is my most recent video on this channel at the time of this filming. But yeah, man, like, you know, I love Slipknot, I love Jim Root, I love EMGs, I love Super Strats. It just all makes sense, you know, to me and to what I like, man. For $1,500 you get a super spec'd out, sleek, yet classy, yet awesome, yet in-your-face guitar all at the same time, from arguably my favorite guitar player of all time, or certainly current favorite guitar player, from my favorite band. So it's just super rad, and it's a no-brainer, like going out on a limb, you know, I'm putting this on the list. So yeah, dude, Definitely really excited to finally see these hit the market, and I'm excited to do a video in the very near future in 2023 on my very own copy of the Jim Root Charvel guitar. Number 6 is the Fishman signature pickup from Ryan Bruce, aka Fluff, from Dragged Under and Riff Spears and Gear. This is my favorite bridge pickup from Fishman because of how rolled off the high end is. That has always been my constructive criticism with Fishmans. I feel like they're a little too bright, a little too almost brittle sounding, a little too clear in the high end especially, and that kind of doesn't make sense because metal players love super articulate, clear things. I understand, but I think it can just be rolled off ever so slightly, and I think the Fluff pickup does everything that like a Fishman Modern does very, very well. However, it just rolls off the high end a little bit more, and I think they're EQ'd and voiced perfectly. And yeah, Fluff obviously has a great, ear for tone, so it's a no-brainer, and it's, no wonder why his pickup sounds so good, man. So yeah, dude, definitely really excited for Fluff and Fishman. Definitely wanted to include that piece of gear on this list. Number 5 is my T.W. Smith custom guitar. I got this guitar about a month and a half ago, and I haven't really put it down, man. It's inspired me to write a whole bunch of new material that'll be coming out in 2023. I'm super excited to release all that. But yeah, dude, it just sounds so good, man. It has a little bit of a longer scale length. It has a 26.2 scale length, so it's a little bit longer. It's not quite a baritone. It's in this weird, unique kind of field of scale length between standard scale and baritone, and I really, really like that. Not only that, but it also looks absolutely beautiful. So yeah, man, just like what a beautiful piece of just art. You know what I mean? Like this thing just looks so good. I like to sit here and just stare at it and just look at it. It just looks so good. It sounds great, plays great, and it's just a really, really cool guitar, and I'm just honored to be the owner of it. Number 4 is a really kind of interesting one, and that is my EMG equipped pickguard that I put in my Fender Stratocaster Ultra Luxe with the Floyd Rose. So this pickguard that I assembled myself is an amalgamation and a culmination of several pieces of gear. It has the EMG 81X in the bridge, and then 2 EMG X Series single coil active pickups in the middle and neck. It also has an afterburner and a 5-way switch. I built that all myself. That's not something that really comes, like as a product itself. But putting the afterburner as well as my favorite pickup company, EMG pickups, in my favorite super shredder, the Fender Stratocaster, it made me fall in love with Floyd guitars. So thank you to EMG for sending in the EMG X Series pickups. That was the start of that whole project, and then I threw in the afterburner that I bought myself from Amazon, and that was just the final piece to the puzzle to just make that guitar come to life and make me reevaluate super strats and super shredders and Floyds and all that stuff. So yeah, man, it really shaped, I guess, my tastes and my next endeavors with gear and stuff like that. So yeah, man, but really, really cool to have an EMG equipped super strat / super shredder. Top 3, my number 3 is STL Tones Control Hub. This is really the only piece of gear that's not directly correlated to guitar gear, but I'm gonna lump it in here because it is heavily used for me personally when mixing guitars. A lot of what I do here on the channel is tone dialing and tone chasing, and also showing you guys what pieces of gear like sound in a mix. And in 2022, I was relying heavily on Control Hub from STL Tones. Control Hub, if you guys are unaware, it's a signal chain with a bunch of different artists' presets and/or mixing engineer presets, like Machine, the guy that did Sacrament from Lamb of God, Mark Lewis, etc. Like they have their own signal chain kind of modeled in Control Hub, and then you're able to purchase it as a consumer and throw it into your own mix. So I've been using that quite religiously as of late, so I highly recommend you guys checking that out if you guys are interested in some mixing tools. But yeah, Control Hub, definitely something that was really cool that came out this year. Number 2 is the all-pedal Jeff Loomis signature pedal, the Devil's Triad. Cutting right to the chase, the main reason why I love it is because of the one button that controls the delay and the reverb. I said it in the actual demo of that unit, but I'll say it right here. My favorite thing about it is whenever I want a delay, I also want reverb, and vice versa. There's never really been an instance where I want just like one or the other, generally speaking. So when you kick on one button, they both are engaged. And what's even cool is like if you don't want delay or reverb, for example, you can just dial it and just turn it down. I never really understood pedals that have 2 separate functions, and if you want them on at the same time, you have to tap dance and like you have to, or like step on it sideways and try to hit both at the same time. I never really liked that, never really understood that. So anyway, man, yeah, the fact that all pedal took care of that feature is great. Not to mention it also has an overdrive and a boost pedal, and you can run it in a bunch of different ways for high gain tones anyway. So has everything equipped that I personally would want, from like an overdrive / boost delay reverb. It's just a perfect unit, and it's a really, really cool piece of gear. My number one piece of gear for 2022 is my favorite distortion pedal that I've come across in a very long time, and that is the Solar Chug pedal. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the best piece of gear for 2022, especially in the genre of music that I like to create. Man, this thing is super cool, dude. It has a noise gate built on board. You don't need a boost or an overdrive to run in conjunction with this. It does everything that you could possibly want right off the bat, right from this pedal. I think it's awesome how Solar Guitars is continuing to just take over the metal community and now has an awesome distortion / preamp pedal. It has a depth and a presence knob where you can control the low end and or the high end a little bit better, like similar to a real amplifier. Anyway, man, yeah, everybody's been ranting and raving about the Solar Chug pedal. It's my favorite piece of gear for 2022, and I'm just really glad that I was able to snag one, you know? So everybody, that's my list for 2022. What do you guys think of my thoughts and opinions? Leave your thoughts and opinions of what you think was the best down below in the comment section, and I'll meet you down below and we'll mix it up and we'll talk all things gear in 2022. Thank you guys so much for an interesting yet successful year. It was an interesting one, I'll say that. I'll just say that. But thank you guys so much for always just being here and being good to me. With that being said, everybody, I am out of here. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay metal. I'll see you guys next time. Later.